are getting the gases, particularly oxygen, at a very high pressure. Do you know how the pressures, different pressures, conversion of the pressures. One atmospheric pressure is in PSI. How much it is? 14.7 PSI. Right? Then kPa, 100. One atmospheric pressure is approximately 100 kPa. Nowadays, many of our this thing are calibrated in kPa. Then it is 760 millimeters of mercury. And in this one part, so many a time you might come across different. One more thing which I have not written is kg per centimeter square. आजकल कोविड में 4.2 करते हो ना? क्या करते हो? So 1 psi is 1 atmospheric is 14.7 psi. 1 psi is equal to 0.07 kg per centimeter square. And if you convert 60 psi into kg per centimeter square, it will come to 4.2 kg per centimeter square. Is it clear? अपन बोल रहे हैं ना आजकल 60 psi चाहिए प्रेशर वॉट्स में, 4.2 चाहिए, 5 बोलते हैं, 4.2 बोलते हैं, अरे कम हो गया, 3.8 हो गया, 3 हो गया, है ना? So that is the conversion. So this conversion you must know when you talk about the pressures in the cylinder. So very we were talking about the high pressure system, intermediate pressure system and low pressure system. Now let us come, this is very important about this to understand high pressure system, and accordingly we will go for further discussion. So what is high pressure system, what is intermediate and what is low? Anyone from you? Just now we talked about the pressures in the cylinders. We are getting at a very high pressure. You can imagine 14.7 is the one atmospheric. So 2000 psi, it means it might come around to 136 or 140 atmospheric. 2000 psi. So is it possible to use for us conventionally? So it has to get reduced. At what pressure? For patient it should be just above the atmospheric. But for processing of this machine should be receiving a pressure not more than 60 psi. So you have to bring down the pressure of 2750 to 60 psi. If it is a very high pressure, what will happen? Like for example, if the pressure is not reduced, what will happen? Patient, if it is directly delivered to the patient, barotrauma can occur even with 60 psi also if it is directly delivered to. And your machine is designed to work at lower pressure like at around 60. Of course there is some margin. Many of the systems are designed to function 1.6 times more than for what it is designed. So but average pressure for the machinery of the Boyle's machine or anesthesia workstation is designed to work at 60 psi. This is one thing. Second thing is that if pressure is not reduced and directly that same pressure is given to the flow meters, what will happen? Damage, that is what I said, that it will damage because it is not designed. Another thing is that it has to be a constant pressure. Otherwise what will happen? As the gas cylinder gets exhausted, slowly, every time you will have to adjust the flow because flow will depend on the pressure. So every time the pressure starts coming down, you will have to keep on adjusting the flow rate. What flow rate which you are expected to give to the patient. This flow meter you will have to adjust continuously as per the drop in the pressure. So this is what is then what are the components? I will tell you pathway of the gases, and then we will decide how the system is. Are you getting it clear, everyone? So this is what the high pressure system means. Pressures in the high pressure are 750 to 2000. Nitrous oxide or oxygen. These cylinders, these are the pressure regulators. Can you see? All of you, can you see here? These are the pressure regulators. Oxygen pressure regulator, nitrous oxide pressure regulator. In the workstations, everything is hidden. So the gases, when it came, they are delivered to the flow meter and other parts that I will be telling you. These pressures are reduced here at the pressure regulator. So high pressure system will be from cylinder. Then what is this? Yoke assembly. What does yoke assembly do? It holds the cylinder, support the cylinder, and allows only unidirectional flow to the machine. So this is the yoke assembly. This also comes under high pressure. Then this is the pressure gauge. What type of pressure gauge is this? Bowden pressure gauge. So this also comes under naturally high pressure system. Then this is the regulator. Regulator is also receiving at a cylinder pressure. So the upstream, all of you understand when I say upstream and downstream. When there is a flow, where it starts, it is upstream. And this is the downstream. So downstream part of the regulator where pressure is reduced will be in intermediate system. But up to pressure regulator, it is the high pressure system. After pressure regulator, then pressure is reduced to 60 psi. So that thereafter, that is the intermediate pressure system where the pressures are around 60. It may be slightly lower also for cylinder, for pipeline, and then sometimes there are second stage pressure regulator where I will explain. That comes under intermediate pressure system. There are other components also. The oxygen flow where it goes from after reduction in the pressure, that I will discuss. So the important thing is, from our point is the for anesthesia delivery system or from patient pressure regulator to flow meter. Flow meter is particularly flow meter. These are the flow control valves. Up to flow control valves, it is the intermediate pressure system. So with flow, you are adjusting the flow. You are not giving 50 liters per minute, right? You are giving it only with the oxygen flush. So that is the pressure at intermediate pressure system. But with this flow meter, you are giving flow rates not that high. So with this flow control valve, this is whatever gases are delivered to the patient. These gases are directed in this direction: back bar, vaporizer. This is the pressure reading valve, and here there is a check valve between the vaporizer and common gas outlet. So these are the components and other components. This is the low pressure system. What is the pressure in the low pressure system? I told in intermediate, it is maybe around, depending on the second stage pressure regulator, it is around 30, 26 to 60. And what is the pressure in the low flow system, low pressure system? It is just above the atmospheric pressure. You can understand that the patient is supposed to receive not at a very high pressure. So it is just around 5 to 8 psi, and that will depend on how much is the pressure, will depend on the how much flow. That will give the pressure. So what is the flow pathway? From flow meter, vaporizer back bar, vaporizer, check valve, pressure exit valve, and then common gas outlet. So before we proceed, I will tell you how this circuit is there, where the gases are going. Nitrous oxide, it's very simple. It doesn't have to go anywhere else. It is directly from pressure regulator, is going to the flow meter. What about oxygen? Oxygen is used from oxygen. One is I told you flow meter. So if you get an opportunity to see this Boyle's machine, you can trace these connections. Like if you check it, you can see that how this pipeline is connected to the flow meter. Where else oxygen is going? Can anyone tell me? Oxygen flush. Oxygen flush is the flow rate with 35 to 75 unmetered flow. That is for emergency or whenever you feel that your bag needs to be adequately filled for ventilation. So unmetered, and it bypasses the vaporizer, and it can be activated where irrespective of you turn on the machine or not. So in emergency, even if you need not turn on the machine, master switch, directly you can give to the patient. So one is the oxygen flush. Second, auxiliary oxygen flow meter. Many machines they do not have, but many of our machines are having auxiliary oxygen. So during regional anesthesia and all that, we are routinely using oxygen from the auxiliary oxygen flow meter. Third,
master slave.
Which master slave? Fail safe. Means whenever there is a supply pressure failure, either there is a loss of oxygen in the cylinder or pipeline. So master slave or fail safe system or oxygen supply pressure failure system or oxygen failure protection devices, or sometimes even it is called as a master slave also. Few people talk of master slave here also, hypoxic guard. Master slave means oxygen is master and nitrous oxide is slave. Whenever oxygen is there, nitrous oxide is allowed. That is here also applicable here and also applicable here. So these are the fail-safe systems or oxygen failure protection devices. Oxygen failure means there is a failure of the oxygen supply. You understand the difference between this system and hypoxic guard system. So how does it work? I tell you that oxygen is delivered through this pipeline, and this piping is connected to the nitrous oxide pressure regulator. Here you can see that this is nitrous oxide pressure regulator. This is the oxygen line here, which is connected to the oxygen nitrous oxide pressure regulator. So it maintains the pressure. Oxygen maintains the pressure at the level of the nitrous oxide pressure regulator. If this falls, pressure in the oxygen pipeline falls below a critical limit, say for example 30 psi, what happens? This pressure regulator doesn't allow nitrous oxide to go to the flow meter. There is a diaphragm. That pressure, till that pressure is maintained, it allows nitrous oxide to flow. I will not go into the details of the mechanics, inner mechanics. We just understand the principle. Is it clear? Is it clear? As long as oxygen pressure is there in this pipeline, nitrous oxide can go to the flow meter, or else nitrous oxide pressure falls, doesn't allow. And there are two systems. One is the, for example, in dragger system machines, there is the proportionate fall in the nitrous oxide flow depending on the pressure of the oxygen. Proportionate. Like for example, half pressure is half. After a critical, once it reach a critical level, for example 30 psi, there occurs proportionate fall in the nitrous oxide. In G system, that is a shut-off valve. They call it shut-off valve, or it is a sensor. So it completely cuts off the nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide will come to zero immediately that 30 psi pressure is reached. From 60 psi to if it reaches 30 psi, nitrous oxide will be completely cut off. Some systems there is a proportionate fall in the nitrous oxide. These systems are called as the oxygen failure protection devices or fail-safe system, or even you can say the master slave also. Is it clear? Where else it goes? Oxygen. One is the flow meter, other oxygen flush. Third we talk about the oxygen failure protection devices. Alarm. That is again oxygen supply, pressure, failure, safety system. One thing, whenever pressure of the oxygen drops, one thing is shut off the nitrous oxide supply, and another is it gives you the warning, audible warning that nitrous oxide pressure. These are the things where alarm system is incorporated. So this is the high priority alarm, and it is the alarm where it is as per the standard. The operator is not in a position to silent it. High priority alarm. Where else it goes? Oxygen. Newer machines it is not required because newer machines are all integrated machines. This type of machines, the ventilator was like add-on part. So here, and this is for the driving of this hose pipe is attached here, and that was used for the driving of the ventilator. So power, gas, outlet. Is it clear? Clear or no? Pathway of the oxygen after the pressures are reduced. Clear? Not clear? Anyone? Anyone want? This safety feature you have understood? Oxygen failure protection device. Oxygen, one is the alarm and another is the call is the nitrous oxide. Till now I have talked about the cylinder and its supply. Another thing is that you can get it from the pipeline. Pipeline, with the pipeline, setup pipeline, you get the pressures at around 55 to 60. And what are the pressures regulated? It is always pipeline pressures are expected to be slightly higher than the oxygen pressure delivered by the oxygen regulator attached to the oxygen cylinder, because in case accidentally your oxygen cylinder is kept open. Why do you have an oxygen cylinder? You all know that as a reserve whenever there is a problem with the pipeline. So pipeline pressure should always be higher than the cylinder pressure, and therefore these regulators are adjusted to provide oxygen at a level of around 45 to 55, and these pipeline pressures are 55 to 60. So pipeline pressures are always at bit higher. Understood? Okay. This is the basic anatomy of the basic Boyle's machine. Now coming to the individual part of the, this you have understood, right? Pressures and how it is divided, high pressure and low pressure, that I have explained to you. These are the parts. Almost all of them have been described. Pipeline pressures, then pipeline pressure gauge. Usually we have this pipeline pressure gauge on the front panel many a time. So you know that these are the cylinder pressure gauges and these are the pipeline pressure gauges. Whenever you check the machine, you should have this habit of checking the pressures in the oxygen pressure gauges. Pipeline pressure gauge, master speech, you know, anesthesia machine, piping system, I have explained to you. Oxygen supply, pressure, failure, safety devices. We will come to second stage pressure regulator later on. Flow control valves, oxygen flush, gas power outlet. Is it clear? Yes. No confusion to anyone? Now, low pressure system. That also I have told you, flow meter tubes. Is beyond this flow control valve, this system comes under the low pressure system. Now coming to the hypoxic gas. Before that I have forgot to tell you about the yoke assembly. In yoke assembly one more part is there, in the filter and check valve. Check valve for what? Unidirectional. What happens, you might observe many a time when you remove the cylinder, no? If check valve is not properly functioning, you will find that gases from other cylinder or pipeline are wasted to the atmosphere. So there is a check valve, but most of the time in older machines this check valve is not functioning. So you have to either have a cylinder attached to it or some yoke plug, you know it, which you can attach here so that it is blocked. The oxygen is not wasted. Understood? Not understood? Yes or no? You can frankly ask me if you have not understood. So this is the about the yoke block which I had forgotten to tell you. Now coming to this hypoxic guard, another safety system and important safety system for the while no grease or oil, fire, compression, there occurs compression of the gases from when gases are flowing from cylinder to regulator. They are released and again compressed. So during compression of the gases, heat is generated. So if there is any dust, particles, grease, so chances of fire are there. So the never for cylinder grease or oil is to be applied. Pin intake system, I think I will not go into the details. It is very important. You have to read it. It is very simple. There is nothing to explain about it. Pin intake system is there are one port for exit of the gases which attaches to the nipple on the yoke assembly. One thing. And what is pin intake system? There are holes on the cylinder side appropriately positioned and ports with there are separate numbers for separate gases and they are engaged in the pins on in the yoke assembly. You must know what are the different combinations for oxygen, nitrous oxide. When was it introduced? In 1952. This is the old, very maybe first after color coding safety system. And the similar for pipeline is the diameter index safety system. This is the wall terminal outlets. Schrader probes. These are also indexed. So this is again safety system so that you can't attach oxygen to nitrous oxide or some other gas. So these are color coded and index color. These are the Schrader probes. And machine end is a diameter index safety system of specific diameters color coding. So you can't attach oxygen to other or other vice versa also. The same is NIST is also said, non-interchangeable screw throat. The difference between is that NIST is European, UK particularly, and diameter index safety system is used in USA. This is the Bowden pressure gauge. About this contents that we have described. So if you get in case short note or ask about what is the Bowden pressure gauge mechanism, in most of the pressure gauges this is the. Do I need to explain or you know it? What is the internal mechanism of Bowden pressure gauge? You know it? So no. This see this you can see in that diagram that there is a curved tube. That curved tube is at one end it is closed and one end it is connected to the cylinder. Lower one, this curved tube, this end is connected to the cylinder. So cylinder pressure is reflected into this curved tube. At other end it is not attached, fixed. It can move on that clock-like mechanism. So depending on the pressure inside the cylinder, this curved tube will move like this. Right? If pressure is more, it will move like this. And again, if pressure is low, it will and the indicator is attached here. So depending on the movement of this tube, this indicator will be at a different position, and that is calibrated. So it will indicate the pressure. See, this is connected to the cylinder, and this is the curved tube. This is sealed at this end and this is open here. So you understood the mechanism. So this is the Borden pressure gauge. There are also certain safety, I think just enumerate the safety system, otherwise you will not be able to cover all these things. What are the safety systems? We will run through it. So this is the Borden pressure gauge. About so this is the pressure in the Borden gauge. When it indicates 0, what does it mean? How much is the pressure inside the pressure gauge, inside the cylinder? What will you say? There is no pressure? Zero pressure. We say it is a zero pressure. What does it mean? It is the atmospheric pressure. But if you are asked that how much is the absolute pressure in it, 1 atmospheric pressure is there. So pressure, absolute pressure and PSI A and PSI G. So if indicator is at 0, if you talk in terms of PSI A, absolute pressure, it will be 760 millimeters of mercury. But if you have to say gauge, what is the gauge pressure? It is 0. But this, because it cannot create a vacuum, it will be for us, it is 0 oxygen. Understood? PSI A and PSI G. A is reference absolutely against 0 pressure, 0 barometric pressure. This we have talked about. Cylinder pressure regulators. In short, if you go into details, there are a lot of mechanics and physics. You just remember the purpose. I have told you what is the purpose of pressure regulator. Why we need to have pressure regulators in anesthesia machines. The purpose you know. What is the mechanism? Just remember that high pressure working on small area is balanced by low pressure on a larger area. So there is a diagram inside this pressure regulator. So pressure coming from this cylinder working on a initially on a small area, and then that is connected to the larger area where pressure has to get, if the same pressure is working on a larger area, the pressure has to, if you increase the area, pressure has to get reduced. So higher pressure working on small area is balanced by a low pressure working on a larger area. And therefore the outlet the pressures are reduced. This is the principle. Just remember this principle. Need not go into the details of internal mechanism. In the absence of pressure regulator, I have told you. Flow pathway also we have covered. This is the same what is seen here. Unless you come and see here, probably you will not understood it from this diagram. This you have to follow the cylinder, pressure regulator and their internal piping. Okay? Hence then you have understood. This thing you have understood. Oxygen failure protection devices safeguards against the oxygen supply failure either because of the pipeline problems or exhausted cylinder. So these are the systems to safeguard against hypoxic delivery of the gases. So does it safeguard completely? No. This will not safeguard any problem downstream of the pressure regulator. So you can set a high nitrous oxide and low oxygen, or there can be leaks or like that. So another safety system incorporated is what we normally call is a hypoxic guard. Means operator inadvertently or by mistake should not give high concentration of nitrous oxide or other gases and low concentration of the oxygen, because this system will not work here. If that oxygen pressure is okay, nitrous oxide pressure is okay, I can set 2 liters of oxygen and 8 liters of nitrous oxide. Huh? Can I set it or no? If there is no hypoxic guard, yes. Huh? So to safeguard against operator selected delivery of hypoxic mixture. So these are the hypoxic guard, or hypoxic guard is specific to GE or Datex Oveda machine. That is their trade mark for that system. It is proportioning devices, means oxygen and nitrous oxide you are using should be given in such a proportion. Patient must receive it in such a proportion that there should be no hypoxic delivery. So it is said that you are not allowed to set by yourself the oxygen concentration in the fresh gas flow less than 21%. So hypoxic guard is designed for 3:1 ratio, means 25% oxygen. And so what are these systems? There are different systems designed by different companies. So let us come to these systems. I wanted to tell you about the Ricci whistle. Nowadays it is not a Ricci whistle. Nowadays electronic alarms are there. This was the very old system because it is totally pneumatic. Whenever oxygen cylinder is on or oxygen supply is there, this cylinder used to get filled, and the moment oxygen supply was inadequate, there was exit of the oxygen from this small cylinder placed in this, and that exit of the oxygen from this cylinder used to give rise to some sound till it gets exhausted. So this is the Ricci whistle. Older anesthesia machines, this was for the giving alarm or against the failure of the oxygen supply. Ricci whistle, you just know the name of it. These are the minimum oxygen ratio or proportioning devices. So what are the different types of these devices? One, we talked about the hypoxic guard. So the different mechanisms are there. One is the mechanical linkage. Mechanically you need these two, oxygen and nitrous oxide, so that you do not allow less than 25% of the oxygen. There can be some other mechanisms also. Instead of linking these two control knobs, there are certain pneumatic or electronic or electronic. Electronic means oxygen analyzer is there. Like in Penron machine, it continuously senses the oxygen concentration in the fresh gas flow and will not allow less than 25% or 21% oxygen to be delivered. Hypoxic guard, I told, is specific to GE machines. Or dragger, they call it as a oxygen ratio ORCM, oxygen ratio controller monitor, or in newer machines SORC, sensitive oxygen ratio controller. So these are in, and these two systems are pneumatic and electronic. So what does it do? It proportionately, dragger systems particularly, proportionately reduce the flow of the nitrous oxide depending on the fall in the, or whatever you set the, like for example I give only 1 liter. So you will not be able to set nitrous oxide more than the 75% concentration. So these are the different, either it can be mechanical linkage or it can be pneumatic or electronic. Dragger systems are combined, electronic and pneumatic. Penron system is totally oxygen analyzer based, electronic device. So we need not go into the details of this, just hypoxic guard you get the node, and therefore I will describe in short about the hypoxic guard because it has some other implications also. Why second stage regulator are required for the hypoxic guard. This is totally pneumatic, mechanical. So it doesn't understand that how much is the pressure in your system. It just you set it mechanically link, and link in a such a way that you cannot operate the nitrous oxide valve beyond that, or flow will not be there. It doesn't understand. It assumes that the pressure is constant. है ना? So it doesn't understand that pressure, there is a fall in the pressure. So what will happen during maximum utilization of oxygen in the hospital? If there is a, or if you are using oxygen cylinder, if there is a fall in the pressure below, say for example 60 psi, what is the pressure we are receiving? 60 psi, and alarm is given at 30 psi. Between this 60 to 30, what will happen? There is a fall in the oxygen cylinder and adequate pressure in the nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide will be given what you have said, for example 5 liters. But with fall in the pressure of the oxygen till 30, till you are born, by this oxygen failure protection device, oxygen will drop. Therefore, they have added for this hypoxic guard by G, they have added second stage pressure regulator. Means whatever is the pressure beyond which likely this will safeguard against the fall in the pressure. You have understood or not understood what I mean to say? Yes or no? Okay, I will repeat it. As I said, this is a mechanical linkage between these. Mechanical linkage doesn't allow me to increase the nitrous oxide beyond 75% concentration. Right? Does this mechanical linkage understand how much is the supply pressure? That will only mechanically what your control knob can be rotated. It gets locked after certain these tools are different, so it gets locked and it doesn't allow to increase the flow. It is totally mechanical. You understand? There is no any sensor inside, or there is no any pressure sensor. Is it clear? So I have done this 2 liter and this is I am 6 liter for example. Now what happened? This is linked together. Now does it understand pressure? How much is the pressure? No. So now slowly the pressure from 60 psi of oxygen has dropped to 35. At 30 psi it will cut off nitrous oxide also. At 30 psi it will give alarm. But till then there will be fall in the oxygen. But nitrous oxide cylinder pressure is okay, so it will not drop. So what is the mechanism to be added? Protect against this, that the pressures at which these flow meters are receiving oxygen and nitrous oxide has to be reduced to the level of you are born against the fall in the pressure. Standards suggest that OFPD works at around 30 psi. Till 30 psi, beyond it will allow. So therefore the pressures of oxygen, because proportion is different. Oxygen is with the second stage. These are incorporated in the hypoxic guard, mechanically linked hypoxic guard. These second stage pressure regulators are incorporated and pressures are 14 for oxygen and 26 for nitrous oxide. So second stage pressure regulators will reduce the oxygen pressure at hypoxic guard, not for other things. Other things will receive the oxygen pressure at 60 psi only, 45 to 60 psi. But only this flow meter assembly will receive the oxygen at 14 psi and nitrous oxide at 26 psi. Understood? So second stage pressure regulators are only for GE anesthesia machines, mechanically linked hypoxic guard, and only for the flow meter, not for other oxygen. I will move fast. And there are limitations for oxygen failure protection devices. There are limitations for the mechanically linked hypoxic guard. Okay. What ensures adequate FiO2 oxygen analyzer. If you have not understood anything till now, you can anytime get up and ask. Now coming to the flow meter assembly. Flow meter assembly parts you know. These are the flow control valves. Then Thorpe tube or flow meter tubes. Calibrated separately for each gas. Then bobbin or rotameter. So now this is the older machine. It has only one tube, hot tube. Here you can see two for oxygen. For what it is made? It is made for so that you can view low flow with accuracy. Move to the fast this. अर्धा तास आहे ना रे? half an hour. Now what are the clinical implications? It's short. A bit difficult for you, maybe difficult for you to understand, but I will try to explain about it. When gases are flowing through the tube, why they are differently calibrated? Because the gas properties are different. This is the flow related physics. The because gas property, viscosity and density of oxygen and nitrous oxide, air or for other gases is different, and therefore flow will be altered with its viscosity. So the calibration is different. So oxygen cannot be used with this calibrated tube and vice versa. So what are the flow dynamics when you are using this? You will see that this type of flow meter. What is it known as? This type of flow meter? Constant pressure, variable area. Why variable area? Because this tube is a tapered tube. At the lower end, the area available for the gas flow is less, and since it is the tapered one, at a higher flow rate, area around the bobbin from where the gases are flowing is a larger one. So at a lower flow, this flow is bit laminar. You know, in our airway related physics, we know that laminar flow, turbulent flow. You know bit about laminar flow and turbulent flow. So whenever gases are flowing, or even liquids also, through a tube-like structure, the flow is laminar. When it is flowing, like for example, curved, when there is a bifurcation or larger diameter, the flow is turbulent. And there are the different properties of gas govern the gases flowing, laminar gases and turbulent. Like for example, mainly gas viscosity and density. Turbulent flow depends on mainly, or density decides the flow rate whenever there is turbulent flow. Flow rate will alter with pressure, with area available, with differential pressure, and whether flow is turbulent or laminar. Even length is also, length of the tube also affects the flow. So if flow is turbulent, density governs the flow. If flow is laminar, it is the viscosity which governs the flow. Why I am telling you, it has some clinical significance. So at lower end of this tube or lower flow is tubular, isn't it? Like this in picture you can say. At a lower flow, these gases are flowing through a tubular structure. So flow is laminar. At higher flow, the flow becomes more turbulent. So viscosity plays a role when flows are low, and density decides the turbulent flow. At higher flows, it is the density which matters. So what is its clinical significance? Like for example, at higher altitude, barometric pressure is low. What happens to flow meter reading at a higher altitude? It underreads. because density is reduced. Pressure affects the density, but pressure doesn't affect viscosity. Density of the gases is reduced, है ना, at high altitude. So it will underrate. Means if you are setting the flow at 2 liters, patient will be receiving maybe at 3 liters. Actual flow will be 3 liters. Now, for example, you go at a higher altitude. As I told, viscosity affects the lower flow. Density affects the higher flow. Now we are giving oxygen 1 liter and nitrous oxide 3 liter. What is more affected?
Nitrous.
Huh?
Nitrous will be more.
At a higher flow, density is reduced. Viscosity is not reduced. So what will happen to nitrous oxide? Nitrous oxide will be still more under rate. Clear? Huh? Nitrous oxide you set at a 2 liters. Oxygen is lower flow. Oxygen, for example, 1 liter and nitrous oxide 3 liters. Which flow is affected more? I said it underreads at a high altitude. Underreads means whatever you said, more flow is given because it is the density which is affected at high altitude. And density affects higher flow. So nitrous oxide flow will be affected more because nitrous oxide you are giving in a higher flow. Naturally, proportion, oxygen for proportion, when oxygen is at 1, nitrous oxide is at 4. Density is reduced, nitrous oxide will be still more given to the patient.
But the same thing will happen with oxygen.
But because it is at a lower flow, density will be playing minor role. As I said, viscosity is more with the laminar flow. If you have understood, it's okay. If you have not understood, it's also okay. No one is going to ask it. I just wanted to make it clear what is the clinical significance when we talk about the flow meter reading at the high altitude. And if anyone wants it, can come to me and I will explain it. And that's why I said that it's a bit difficult to understand. But let it be. Now coming to the sequence of the flow meter. You all know, I think, that the oxygen should be the downstream. The reason you know that if there is any leak here, so patient will be receiving more oxygen and oxygen will be, nitrous oxide will be leaked here. If it is opposite, like oxygen here and nitrous oxide here, because nitrous oxide is downstream, patient will receive larger concentration of the nitrous oxide. But many a time, and as per the ASTM, American Standard, it is said that when you see it from the front, oxygen should be on the right side. In these both machines you can see it, but in some machines still you can see that the oxygen is on this side. But this safety system, what I have told, is still there because at the manifold they have done such a design that oxygen is the last to enter in the manifold. So the sequence of the flow meter you should know about. There are nowadays electronic flow meters. Some electronic flow meters, flow is controlled by our conventional flow control knob, but the flow is measured by the electronics. And there are certain newer anesthesia workstations. There are, but even flow is, there is no flow control knob, only digitally you can set, so everything is electronic. Nowadays newer workstations are coming up with the completely electronic. So there is a mixing or as well as completely electronic mixing. Oxygen flush, what are the dangers of oxygen flush? What are the safety systems incorporated in oxygen flush? That one thing is that it is recessed, so that accidentally you should not be able to press, or accidentally it doesn't get pressed, it's recessed. Then previously there was the locking mechanism that you press it, lock it, the patient used to never use, you don't require to keep on pressing. So that locking system is eliminated because accidentally if it is gets locked without your notice, patient would get continuous oxygen at a higher flow rate. And I have told you that oxygen flow rate, oxygen flush is directly connected to the common gas outlet at 60 psi. So what is the harm? That one is the barotrauma. Another is that without your notice, if oxygen flush is on and it will keep on diluting the anesthetic gas mixture, and there is a chance that patient would be aware. You are not understanding anything? Any problem? No. I'm asking you very seriously that you are not understanding. I will go slow. I am just speeding. Just because to complete, I want to complete few things. I will not go into the details of the ventilators. You just know about what are the different types of the ventilators available with us. Bellow type, like here. This is called as this is pneumatically driven ventilator. Bellow type, double circuit. Double circuit means inside the bellows, these are the gases which are being delivered to the patient. Outside the bellows, the gases, drive gases, they just work for the driving, means they push the bellows so as to push the gases inside the bellows in the breathing system. So then double, and then piston type of ventilators in dragger machines, newer dragger machines like primers, we have piston type of. The advantage of piston type of ventilator is more precision. There is this type of piston. This is the rigid design, and precision and accuracy is more with the piston type of ventilator. There is the turbine. Newer anesthesia ventilators are capable of providing the ventilation to even very small baby to very critically ill patient. And the basic advantage of turbine ventilator is that you can give whatever maximum inspiratory flow is required. Maximum inspiratory flow is required during particularly spontaneously breathing patient. So with turbine technology you can achieve maximum inspiratory flow which is required for spontaneously breathing, and since we are nowadays using LMAs and using the spontaneously breathing, and your ventilators are incorporating all the ICU modes. They are incorporating pressure control ventilation with volume guarantee or recruitment manuals. So advanced modes are being incorporated into anesthesia ventilators also. I will not go into this volume reflector. Recently servo technology, MACA anesthesia delivery systems have incorporated advantage. Again, this is very beneficial for very low gas, minimal flow gases. So this, just remember, we will not be able to volume reflector, flow ion machines, anesthesia delivery systems by MACA. So advantage is mainly for the low pressure settings, and because the oxygen is directly connected to this cassette which you see in black, no chance of hypoxia even if you are using low flow and there are leakages in your system. Still there won't be any hypoxia because oxygen is connected to the breathing system gases. Oxygen, driving gas is connected to the breathing system gases. Now just to enumerate, because many times safety systems are asked to you, you just go through it. I will read it, many of it have been discussed, and then we will go for the checking of the anesthesia machine and features of advanced anesthesia workstations. Basically for hypoxia prevention, inadvertent high pressure, inadvertently giving wrong anesthetic or excess of the anesthetic against the static electricity. These safety features are incorporated: color coding, symbol, then pin index, diameter index, safety system, cylinder valve. There are certain pressure relief mechanisms. Pressure gauges again color coded, span angle is standardized. If you want, I can give you my PPT also. There is no restriction. Flow meter to prevent translocation, color coding. Index needle valves. So these needle valves are also indexed so that during servicing no one can put this needle valves, interchange the valves. So these are also indexed. Every possible mistake has to be covered by incorporating safety system because it is the question of patient's life. Got it? Just remunerate, repeat the safety systems incorporated in anesthesia machine. This oxygen at this size, shape, its design, its placement, that is also different. So that even if in dark, by touch, you should be able to understand. Yes, with the practice, you know that this is the oxygen.
Anti-static spray is
Anti-static spray is inside this or tube or flow meter. What happens? What is the static electricity? Whenever two dissimilar parts move or friction occurs during two dissimilar surfaces, there occurs development of the static electricity. One thing is that static electricity in older days when flammable anesthetic agents were used, so these are the made static energy proof against this. And another, for this it is required here, it is for accuracy of the flow. Once if the static electricity is developed here inside this, then the accuracy of the bobbin will be affected, right? And there is a certain other factors also, like for example, if the machine tilted, this accuracy will not be maintained. So there are other factors also which affects the accuracy of the flow meter. Dust inside the flow meter, if it gets stuck at the lower end or upper end, development of the static electricity. So all these things affect the measurement of the flows in the oxygen and nitrous oxide or whatever gases you are using. This we have covered. Alternate oxygen flow rate meter I have to tell. Again, in modern anesthesia workstation also I will be telling you about diagram. How many of you are using Primus machine? Or even many of newer anesthesia workstation, these are electronic, totally electronic machines. If there occurs battery failure, battery is also added in case of main supply failure. So if battery is also exhausted, your machine will be of no use. So what they have added, that they have given one alternate oxygen flow meter. Will show you then, otherwise I will use the track. Alternate. What does it do? It simply works, gives you additional advantage of having your completely pneumatic system, which doesn't require electric supply. So gases from the flow meter will go to that flow meter, because this is also electronic in your machine. So from gases from regulator will go to that alternate oxygen. This is different than auxiliary. Alternate oxygen meter. With that, this oxygen, and in primers, these gases are even going through the vaporizer, so that you can ventilate manually and give oxygen and anesthetic agents to the patient. So that is safety against failure of the power supply. Vaporizers you must have covered. What is fresh gas decoupling or fresh gas compensation?
compensation in dextromethorphan and phase gas decoupling in
It's a dragger.
Dragger.
So this the logic behind adding this. So I will explain. What happens that whenever you are ventilating the patient with the ventilator or whatever manual ventilation, what does happen to fresh gas during inspiration? You have ventilated the patient, set the ventilator out at 500 ml of tidal volume, right? So the machine knows, ventilator knows that I have to push 500 ml. So what does happen? That fresh gas flow is a continuous. These machines are the continuous flow machines, not intermittent flow. In the past, historical intermittent flow machines were there. This is a continuous flow machine. So during inspiration also fresh gas is being added to the breathing system. So that is on top of 500 ml. right? So if patient is adult, it might not matter much, but very small patient, this fresh gas flow, if you are using very low flow, it might not have that consequences. But if you are using higher flow, like for example 5 liters per minute, so during that time, maybe 50 ml, 60 ml, 100 ml, whatever, that will be added to it to the breathing system. So that in 500 ml plus this will be given to the patient. So tidal volume is, there is a discrepancy between what you have said and what patient is. This will matter more in a small baby. This 50 ml addition will be, if that baby's volume is 40 ml, will be too much for that baby. So what they have done fresh gas decoupling. Means during inspiration, if you see in primers, you will see that your bag is moving during inspiration, getting inflated, right? So this fresh gas is decoupled from the breathing system as going in the reservoir system, and that is added next during the expiration in the breathing system. As against in GE, they have done what to safeguard again. Again, you said oxygen flush. What happens during inspiration? Remember, whenever you are using this bellow system, don't flush oxygen during inspiration, right? Whenever the ventilator is delivering 500 tidal volume, and you push the oxygen flush, that oxygen flush gives very high volume in the system. So this fresh gas, oxygen flush gases also are diverted to the reservoir by fresh gas decoupling. So in GE machines, what they have done, fresh gas compensation. There are sensors. They keep on sensing how much tidal volume is being delivered, and they will compensate for you automatically. So these are the two systems, fresh gas decoupling or fresh gas compensation. Features designable for low flow, dual flow meters, compliance and leak testing, where it should be gas tight. There should leak against gas tightness, against any leakages. Circle system, warm absorber head, because with low flow, condensation or vapor, water vapor keeps on accumulating in the breathing system. So warm absorber head, compact circuits. What happens when you are using very low flow? Like for example, if you are 500 ml, using it with 500 ml, and this system volume, how large you can imagine that this 1.5 liter or 2 liters, this is 2 liter, is here it is only 800 ml, but large jumbo canisters 200, this volume breathing system, and your 500, you have set a 500 ml only flow rate. So how much, even if you set 5% sevoflurane, how much sevoflurane vapor it can pick up? It will not be sufficient. So flush in and flush out means, if you initially you have said 2, now your patient is light, you want to increase the inspired sevoflurane concentration and you make it 5, but your flow is so low that it cannot pick up that much sevoflurane, and this whatever you have said, it is getting diluted in the breathing system. So to achieve that concentration which you want may not be achieved very fast in your breathing system. You will take long time, and therefore in newer machines capable of delivering, giving anesthesia with very low flow, they have added newer vaporizers like DIVA, direct injection volatile vaporizers, which are capable of giving like 40% sevoflurane up to. So that if they add that much sevoflurane, so this is low flow can also achieve the target anesthetic concentration in a short time. Right? Got it or no? Huh?
It means if you want to achieve faster anesthetic concentration, we need to, in DIVA, we need to dial it up more.
But whenever there are DIVA ventilators, no, there are many automated systems they have made nowadays available. Automated system is, they tell you just set the end tidal concentration of the anesthetic. You set the flow, like I have to give only 500 ml flow. I want end tidal CO concentration 2%. and oxygen concentration 35%. We set 3 parameters. Oxygen concentration 35%, flow rate 500 ml and end tidal anesthetic concentration 2%, whatever, depending on that. Automatically that will set the how much vapor has to be added to the circuit. It will decide. You need not see ki how much this is the flow, how much is the breathing volume, system volume, and I have to say. So these are now these automated systems are coming on. And now one more thing is being also induction. You can decide that machine will decide how much anesthetic concentration. You just decide this is the small baby, I want to induce the patient very fast. My speed of induction should be very fast. So you decide the speed, how much speed you want to give and how much anesthetic entire concentration you want. It is automatically decide how much concentration that within this time I have to induce the patient. If patient is hemodynamically not stable, you don't want that speedy induction. You can decide the speed at what speed. That is called as the anesthetic gas control, AGC. Few newer anesthesia machines have involved. Even closed loop systems also. What do the machines do? That they sense the with BIS or entropy, what is the depth of anesthesia. Then with neuromuscular monitor, how much is the paralysis, muscle paralysis, and with hemodynamic parameters, how much analgesia. So it will, these are so automated that it will decide how much anesthetic I have to increase, how much. These are closed loop systems, means they get the feedback from the patient's parameters and decide what I need to add to it. But it doesn't mean that the vigilance of anesthesiologist is not required. The more complicated machine, more you have to be vigilant. New machines, new problems. So discrepancy between the tidal volume and we will not go. These are the integrated, more safety features are added. Ventilator, breathless compensation decoupling, I have told you. Automated checking, you all know in your anesthesia machines. Electronic flow meter, multi-gas analyzer with back calculation, you are using it nowadays. But if you get a newer anesthesia workstation, you should be able to at least enumerate that what are the features which are being incorporated in newer anesthesia machines. Automated record keeping. For low flow, they have developed some softwares also. EcoFlow or like its name, trade names are EcoFlow, or one more is there, low flow is out. See, if you can see here, you just set the oxygen concentration, flow, lower panel, left side, this side. Oxygen 25.50 flow and 1.2 is the entire concentration, and that will automatically decide the how much anesthetic. This is end tidal anesthetic concentration controlled break gas flow. For low flow gases, nowadays we are more concerned about the economy, cost and pollution. Automatic, this I have explained to you, automatic gas control designed to reach the target anesthetic concentration at the speed desired. This is the ramp. You decide the ramp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever bars are there. These are the newer anesthesia machines. Safety features in modern anesthesia machine. Even with this modern tracker machine, which has a piston ventilator, if there is an oxygen supply pressure failure, that piston will work, get the oxygen air from the atmosphere and keep on ventilating the patient. There won't be loss of ventilator. If there is a failure of the oxygen supply with air, it would, like in primers, piston type of ventilator is there. This is the alternate oxygen control. I have told you that if there is a failure of the electronics or main supply, power supply failure. Closed loop anesthesia I have explained to you. The future is for robotic surgery and robotic anesthesia. This is a pharmacological robot, you may say, not actually performing skills, but anesthesia checkout, I will explain only two these things, will not go into the details. First, everything you have to check about the what that your flow control valves should always be in a closed position whenever you open. This cylinder open cylinder. You have to first inspect that your flow control valves are closed, your vaporizers are filled, are tightened, and then first you check, you remove the pipeline. The first thing is that you must have some alternate measure for ventilation. Ambu bag should always be there with every machine, right? Then second thing, you primary setup what you, as I told, flow meter and this vaporizer. This breathing circuit is complete or not. Whatever parts are there with the breathing system, HME filter if you want PEEP valve, this circuit is completely attached. Bags and everything, this position has to be checked. Now coming to the machine check. What about high pressure system? High pressure system, you have to check that pipeline pressures are okay, cylinders are filled, there is no leak. How do you check leak in the high pressure system? Leak checking you are doing for other. High pressure system pressure is so high that there would be hissing sound. So for high pressure as well as intermediate pressure sometimes you may miss because that is not so loud, but you should be able to detect the leak in the gases by hissing sound. So main importance is to check the oxygen pressure. You have at least, one should have, depending on the procedure, at least half filled oxygen cylinder reserve, and oxygen cylinder after removing the hoses you should be confirming that from oxygen cylinder you are getting the oxygen here. Now coming to the leak, we have to check. We have to check the low pressure system and breathing system. 5 minutes घेऊन करें आले का नंतर आले आहे म्हणजे मला 5 मिनिट. So what you have to check? Low pressure system naturally and breathing system. So what is the low pressure system? From flow meter to common gas outlet. How will you check it? As I have said you that now here you cannot see, but here I can tell you that between the vaporizer and common gas outlet there is a check valve. What does check valve do? Check valve will not allow retrograde back flow. The flow will be only in this direction. So what I will be performing first is the universal check test or negative pressure leak test. Why? What is the importance of this negative pressure? Why not positive?
Because check valves also.
There is a check valve here, right? So if I want to check positive pressure leak here for example, with positive pressure leak, because flows are not going. What you want to do in positive pressure check? You create a positive pressure here by putting a pressure gauge and some mechanism to inflate it, or with the flow meter. Pressure gauge is attached. With the flow you increase the flow, for example, to 50 centimeters of water. If there is a leak, these gases close the flow control valve. If there is a leak, this pressure 50 centimeters of water will start leaking from here and the pressure indicator will go down. But if there is a check valve, this pressure will not be reflected here. It will check only till the check valve. And therefore, got it or not? Yes. Positive pressure will not be reflected here. So leak will not be detected beyond the check valve. Why negative pressure? Negative pressure is sucking from this flow control valve to common gas outlet. What I want to create? Negative pressure in this low pressure system. If that negative pressure is maintained, it means there is no leak. But if that negative pressure cannot be maintained from this flow control valve to common gas outlet, it means air is getting sucked from somewhere. So it is not airtight. Universal leak test is meant for the systems where there is a check valve. even with no check valve, this is can be performed, and therefore it is universal. Positive pressure cannot be will not detect the leak if there is a check valve. It is clear or not clear? So how to perform it? You don't want any flow here. In some machines, there is a mandatory minimum flow of 250 ml. Once you put the master switch on, automatically there would be some flow in the oxygen flow meter. So that you have to stop. So master switch will have to be
Switched off.
in switch off position. So there is no mandatory minimum mandatory flow. This flow control valve is
Fully.
closed. There should be no flow. And then what I do, I completely compress this bulb. I completely compress this bulb. I attach it to the common gas outlet. Right? And now I release it. What happened?
Inflated.
Got inflated. What does it mean?
Some amount of negative pressure.
Leak is there. Right? Before performing, I have closed the vaporizer, I have closed the master switch, I have closed the flow control valve. Okay, it means that there is leak. What it should remain at least. What is the acceptable leak? Zero leak may not be possible. Acceptable leak in low pressure system is not more than 50 ml. For low flow machines, that is also may not be acceptable for small babies. Right? So acceptable is not more than 50 ml. So I hope you have understood is the mechanism why I am performing it. It should remain collapse for at least 10 seconds. So this is negative pressure leak. Next what I have to do, that my vaporizers, what I can again check, I can check vaporizer also. No other thing to check. Pressure is fall, I can't check separately. But if there is a leak in the vaporizer, the same thing has to be performed by vaporizer switch on. Switch on the vaporizer and again perform the same. Initially it remained collapsed for 10 seconds, means there was no leak, and if you put the vaporizer on and if there is a leak, it means your vaporizer is, you need to look after your vaporizer for the leak. Clear? So this is the for low pressure system. There are some other minor tests also. Now first we will come to the leak of the breathing system. You are expected to do these checks routinely, daily before you start your case. So now what you have to check here? What does it check? When I am checking the breathing system, I am checking this closed circuit, this breathing circuit beyond the common gas outlet. No, it all does check up to check valve. Because it is connected, no? And we are doing here, we are not doing negative pressure test, we are doing positive pressure test. So from check valve in the low pressure system to breathing system. So how do I check? And for the criteria are different for the very low flow anesthesia. But by conventional, there should not be leak more than, initially it was said as more than 350, but now even more than should not be, leak should not be more than 150. First we will check whether there is a leak or no leak, and then how to quantify how much is the leak in this breathing system. Now what I do, that I close the APL valve. I have made it closed one now. This system is closed. Right? I have occluded the eyepiece. I have closed the APL valve. Now if I start the flow, you can start with the oxygen if you want to do it fast. Now I have to fill this to check with the positive pressure. I have to fill this system. Once I start oxygen, how do I know the pressure? This is the pressure gauge or pressure manometer for this breathing system. How much is the pressure in the breathing? I have closed the system this by closing APL wall and occluding the Y-piece. Now it has become a closed system. If it is a closed system, there should be a pressure rise in the system with the oxygen flow, or I can get that pressure by with the help of the oxygen flush, and I can monitor the pressure in my system with this manometer, breathing system manometer, or this pressure. Now what you have to see that I want this pressure to up to 30. That is standardized, and they have done this, and they, with this if it is maintained, it is acceptable. Now I have to maintain the pressure. If there is no leak, the pressure, once I feel it, once I develop positive pressure, that pressure should be maintained. If it is not maintained, it means gases are leaking out from somewhere. Where from can gases leak? There are many connections, and therefore I said initially, before you start all these things, you should tighten, you should see that your components, all components are ready. Sometimes many a time you observe that sample line is open or like that. So that has to be physically checked. After that you have to, now what I am observing here, I am flushing it with the oxygen flush. Now it is at 30 centimeter, but it is very fast coming down. You might not be able to see, but I tell you that this indicator is fast coming down. There are a lot of leaks. So how can I quantify the leak? Flow. I adjust the flow and how much flow is required to maintain that pressure at 30 centimeters. Means that much is the leak. So the flow required to maintain this at 30 centimeters of water is the leak in this system. Got it?
Yes,
This has to be performed actually. If you keep on performing, you will understand it more. This is now with this system. Now I want to see, Dr. Gunjan, ठीक है, एकच मिनिट फक्त माझा. Now I have to check for this ventilator. Now ventilator is not in this system. Is it in the system? No. There can be leaks in the ventilator also. Right? There can be leaks in the ventilator also. Now what I am, this is also one of the methods that you do it, perform the ventilation, whether it is adequately performing. Manually also you have to see that whether there is any resistance or like that. Right? So working or not. If there is a major leak with low flows, this will not reach to the top. If you see that it is not reaching the top bellows, it means there is some leak. If it is major leak, it will not reach. Now I have to check whether it is in the bellows or this system. So what I do, I let it reach to the top and then I suddenly make it on back mode. Now this is out of the circuit. This is out of the circuit. So if there is a leak in the bellows, that will not be retained at the top position. Any question?
On the fire safety system, all the systems will be from the hypoxic gun system. All of it is targeted at 21% concentration.
What?
We have mechanical and we have electronic or three.
Some difference, but standards dictate that it should not go below 21% and at common gas outlet, not standards, not less than 90. At common gas outlet, not less than 90. Like for some people, they have kept 21%. Hypoxia guard 25%. So minor variation, but within the same limit. Have you understood or not? Huh? I had to make it fast. Many points I could not explain you. And if you have queries, you can come. I will be waiting here for some time. Lack of safety features you must know. Ideally, if you don't have oxygen failure protection devices, if you don't have hypoxic guard system, you should not be using that machine. So there are criteria.